In 1964, Gene Roddenberry created Star Trek to be what he called Wagon Train to the Stars, which would tell the adventures of Captain Kirk, Leonard Bones McCoy, and the logic-minded Spock alongside their crew of the Enterprise. The original series episodes were an outlet for Roddenberry to talk about war, racism, civil rights, and many other aspects of humanity in the 20th century. Roddenberry's humanist vision of a future society in the 23rd century would follow various crews through 6 television series totaling 726 episodes, 13 films, as well as books and video games. Shalom Aleichem is a Hebrew greeting meaning, "Peace be upon you." In 1967, Leonard Nimoy adapted this Jewish phrase into the Vulcan message, "Live long and prosper." This week on Real Comic Heroes, Star Trek, the motion picture. Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Patrick.
Welcome back. It's been a while.
Yep. You know, reality being a bitch again.
Yep. So this will be our first episode back from our little hiatus that we took, so we're gonna... What are we talking about this week?
Believe we're talking about a old TV show from the silent film era, as far as I'm concerned, because it's so old. A little-known indie film called Star Trek, the motion picture.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate the motion picture. Like,
did they just do that because it was a TV show, you think?
I don't know.
Because wasn't Superman the movie?
Yeah, same thing. That always bugs me, too.
I think motion picture just sounds classier.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to.
Like film.
Right.
Versus movie.
Flick. Star Trek the Flick.
Flick. That sounds like a Mel Brooks movie. Like parody thing.
I'm surprised he never did. I guess he probably incorporated parts into Spaceballs.
Spaceballs reference.
Getting it early, getting it out of the way.
Getting it out of the way, I could tell. Yeah. I don't really know.
Because it seems like something that he would be perfect parody material for its own thing, or
because I mean, there's a lot of similarities between Star Wars and Star Trek as far as space.
you watch your.
Well, no, I mean like in general, like uniforms and like you got your red shirts, you got your stormtroopers, you got you know, your pawns and your. But I think it was mainly Star Wars. I don't remember too much with Star Trek.
I just assumed that they incorporated bits of all like sci-fi.
There was a salute, but I think it had more to do with making fun of Nazis.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it really was like a live long and prosper kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess you could say that the one of the head Spaceball guys was kind of Captain Kirky.
Okay.
Because he had ladies he was womanizing. Right. And I know Kirk liked to get busy with some...
Yes, he did.
Alien strange.
That's right.
As they say. So, yeah. Okay, Spaceballs out of the way. Check.
Nice. Good.
For those of you drinking at home.
I was just curious, like, what's your experience with Star Wars before
You mean Star Trek?
Oh my god, I knew I was going to do it. I knew I would do it at some point. So hopefully I got it out of the way. You know,
this is going to be so awesome now. Thank you.
That's okay. I can edit that out. As I was saying.
Here, wait. Star Wars. Star Trek. Now you can put my voice in and blame me.
Perfect.
There we go.
Nice.
All right. That's what we call an edit point, people.
The time is 4 minutes and 53 seconds.
Oh, man. But we'll always know what truly happened.
Right.
With Star Trek, I have very random experience with. Okay. I've seen a few of the old episodes, because I didn't have cable when I was really young, so it was that and Gilligan's Island. And I Love Lucy. People. Well, it wasn't even that. It was just cable was new then, so it was probably expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we had cable for maybe a hot second before my folks were like, we can get TV for free still.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I saw maybe a few episodes here and there. I've randomly seen movies while my parents watched them and relatives probably.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a damn thing about this movie.
Okay.
And I was surprised how old they already looked.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a shitload of movies after this.
And they look pretty young in the original series. Kirk or Shatner looks, I think he's in his 30s, but
that was filmed in the
60s.
So this is 20 years later, so they're all in their 50s.
Yeah. It would have been... The original series ended in 69, and then this would have been filmed in, 78, 79?
Yeah.
So, I guess 10 years?
Man, I guess it was harder living back then.
Yeah.
I was just surprised that, I'm like, wow, they already look old.
Right.
And then to think that there's, 15 more years.
Well, yeah, because they're the original crew, their last movie, Undiscovered Country, was 91. So.
Oh, okay, I thought it was later than that.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that would have been Picard.
Yeah, they did.
Never mind.
Shatner was in Generations, and that was 94, maybe. I don't know.
So how old do you think his toupee is at this point?
Oof, I'm sure they've buried that one, that original one, and they've moved on to many other. I'm horrible. I can never tell a toupee versus real hair now.
Oh, him, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal. You can just tell, because if you know where a hairline is,
and
you see where theirs is at their age, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's they don't even fake sort of receding.
Right.
It's just straight on hair hat. He might as well be wearing a beanie.
Yeah.
But I think Letterman did it right.
Does he?
He wore a hairpiece.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But he still had the widow's peak.
Oh, okay.
I mean, everyone knew he had one, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
See, what you got to do is always wear a hairpiece.
Right.
Even when you don't need one.
Yeah.
That way, when it comes time, you're ready. Nobody will know.
Yeah.
Wow, his hair has never changed. It has always looked horrible, like a toupee.
Yeah.
Like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He's had that same haircut since... I saw not a documentary, but a news story on him, from the 80s or 90s or early 90s maybe. Same hair.
Same exact hair, yeah.
Same exact hair. It's creepy because he looks like a young Donald Trump, and to me, Donald Trump just always looked old.
Right,
so
yeah.
It's kind of weird seeing him that way. Anywho, Kirk to Trump. Who knew?
Yeah.
So what's your experience with the Trekkie universe?
I don't remember ever watching the series that much. I mean, I think if we were I do kind of recall channel surfing, and there was an episode on, and my dad explained the red shirt, thing to me, watch, this guy's gonna die, as soon as they,
I didn't know about that till maybe 5 years ago.
Okay. So I always knew that, and I think I assumed that the show was just cheesy and easy to make fun of or whatever. I watched the movies growing up. I think I I vividly remember watching the 6th movie, The Undiscovered Country, and after that I probably watched, a couple. Star Trek 4 always stood out. That's the one with the whales.
Is that where they time travel?
Yeah.
That's the one I remember too.
Yeah. Then after that, I didn't get into Star Trek until 3 years ago, maybe. I watched all the movies, and then more recent than that, the Mission Log podcast came out, and they started at the beginning, the original series, and watch and comment on every episode, and then I'm done with all of the original series, the animated series, the original movies, and I'm in season 5 of Next Generation. Ooh. So slowly over the last couple of years, I've been watching all of Star Trek. It's a good thing this isn't a visual podcast, folks.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, a tiny little dog came tiptoeing in here, and it's got a big ass pink diaper on. A little warning next time, sir.
Well,
I had no idea. Oh, that's great. Star Trek. Take 2. We were just talking about your experience with Star Trek.
Yeah. Right now I've been going through, like I said, I'm in the middle of season. I think I just started season 5, I think, of Next Generation. So still got all the other Deep Space Nine and Voyager and some of those I've never seen any of. So
I think I've watched probably the most of Next Generation.
Yeah. I see, and that's one I never saw any of, but I'm really enjoying it. So that's a podcast that I really highly recommend if you have any interest in watching Star Trek from the beginning or whatever.
Yeah,
it's definitely fun to go through or go along with that show.
So they're probably stoked that the new Star Trek's coming out soon.
Well, but I mean, they won't get to it until 5 years from now, just because they've got to get through 3 more series because they're doing everything
chronological.
But anyways, do we want to talk about the movie?
I suppose.
Okay.
So we had the 3-act break.
Yeah.
Basically, beginning until spoilers. Spock arrives.
Yep. Spock shows up.
Then from Spock to his encounter with the intelligent machine known as... I can never remember how you say it.
V'ger.
V'ger, yeah. Because I know what the real name is, so that's all I can think of.
Yeah.
V'ger.
V'ger.
Yeah, I had to write it down phonetically so I could remember what the name was, because I kept forgetting it. So, yeah. Let's see.
This isn't one of my points, but once I watched some of the special features, and they indicate that it's the year 2271. It's always with Star Trek, it's hard to tell when things are happening because it's star date,
It doesn't put the year into the star date?
They don't. It's 3475 point, whatever.
Okay.
But it's I never understand the star date.
Yeah, I never paid attention to it. Yeah. So I just know it's star date. Got space rapiers from that Sheila.
That she-beast on planet Rigel 7.
I said Sheila. Watching too much Mad Max.
Yeah.
Damn you, Australia. Okay. So, right off the bat, as soon as we get going, we see this weird-looking ship from the Klingon group.
Yeah. The battle cruisers.
Hated that thing.
Really?
Oh, looked like hell. And I was like, okay, we're going to get some... Because I had no idea what this movie was about.
Okay,
because other than it's a motion picture.
Sure.
So I thought we were going to get some Klingon battle action with the Star Trek Federation, but...
Yeah.
Or is it just Federation?
It's the United Federation of Planets.
Okay.
And then the...
Does anyone say Star Trek, or is that just the name?
No, that's just the name. I mean, you have Starfleet, which is... Starfleet is the Armada branch of United Federation of Planets, so they're the explorers and...
Gotcha. Yeah, but it made me think of... the Star Wars opening because it was on a ship in space,
right?
And it just I don't think I could help but notice that, and they probably did that on purpose because it was a cool shot,
probably. And I think the miniatures that they used held up really well, like scale wise.
To a point.
They don't do a great job of blending.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
The miniatures with the background.
Yeah,
like they did, throughout.
But, they scaled it
this,
which shows up later with V'ger.
Yeah,
but I like the scaling.
It seems like all the space movies we've done so far, Star Wars, Alien. They all have that beginning shot of a ship in space. Yeah. I guess it makes sense, and it could be they want to see if they can do it as well. Like, this is Star Trek; it's been around longer than Star Wars, so we want to do something similar to. I don't know.
Later on, they get really like the money shot of the actual vessel. Yeah. The Enterprise.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that takes up a half hour of the movie.
It's a big chunk of just slow panning next to this
ship. It's like, check it out, nerds. We didn't miss a spot.
Yeah. Well, this is where we spend our money, so we're going to get every drop.
Yeah.
But for me, it works. It's like with the music, and you get Kirk's reactions and...
Oh, to the Enterprise?
Yeah, seeing the Enterprise for the first time.
As far as I can tell... Kirk wants to make sweet love to the ship.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. That's why they call a ship a she.
But I like the little beginning action sequence with the mystery cloud of doom.
Right.
Granted, some of the special effects were kind of cheesy with the lightning.
Yeah.
But maybe it's only because of me being used to newer stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't awful, but it was kind of cool seeing everyone get zapped into oblivion.
Right. I kind of like the phasing effect of seeing the ships disappear.
And if there's one thing Star Trek universe can do, is phase some mother.
That's right.
So, what did you want to bring up in the first act?
Let's see.
Did you want to talk about the spacewalks?
No.
Because that's a good example of scaling.
Right. And just
they were everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, there was always somebody floating around.
But they don't do a good job of blending the the people.
It made me think of the Bond movie when they're in space. It's just like a guy sitting on a chair and a blue screen behind him or something.
That's funny. I don't know where to jump in. I think
there's a Spock.
Yeah, I wrote. You got hippie Spock, and he's
Spock hippie phase.
Nice, man. We are just in sync.
Well, it was just weird.
Yeah, it's kind of jarring seeing Spock. You think of him as the
science officer.
Science officer. Yeah, very like proper looking, I guess. Short haircut, just very clean cut. Yeah, you see him and he's in his like teenage years, in his rebellious phase of listening to that rock music and
come on, I want to have feelings.
And it's just that scene it's a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
Just explaining like the Vulcan elders are explaining to Spock what he's doing, and it's really just explaining to the audience, like, that you're going through this practice of Kolinar, of purging all emotion and becoming, fully Vulcan.
What is it? the thing that hit me was that they keep explaining that to us throughout the movie.
Yeah. Bones says it later. Yeah. You were doing the Kolinar, the practice of, Yeah. It's like, yeah,
then why did they have to explain it to Spock if this random doctor knows?
Yeah. That was a little strange seeing Spock, I think we see him right before we see Kirk. Just an odd way to do it, I guess.
And this movie pointed out exactly what I've always thought about Vulcans.
Yeah.
Is that they're more trying to be like a robot than a living being.
Yeah, I mean, they want to purge all emotion, because they're all about logic, and everyone knows. I think everyone knows that about Vulcans, but they're a bit robotic in their.
Because that's all a machine is logic.
Yeah.
It's built on it. So it just seems like an odd. Like, if they're that analytical, would they think that, okay, there's something to emotions that is beneficial?
Yeah, I remember in the series, I think it's Amok Time, they explained that the Vulcan society was a lot like the human society. There were violence and war and, a lot of conflict and stuff like that. And to break away from that, they decided to become the way they are to avoid, war and things like that. So
drastic.
Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. What else you got?
Oh, man. If I could just harp back on to the weird non-blending, it was like the terminal shuttle scene.
Yeah, the space.
Kirk was talking.
San Francisco.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was so horrible.
Yeah, because you could tell like a lot of it was a painting.
Yeah,
and making the shuttlecraft fly around it's not great.
Yeah, and the weird thing, I think it's so jarring because it leads to the big reveal. Of the Enterprise,
right.
AKA Nerdgasm Enterprise, because they were. It was like epic music, long shots. Just like I was waiting for it to start going bounce, like it was just like loving, the hell out of this model.
They gave her back to me, Scotty. Gave her back, sir? I doubt it was that easy with Nagura. You're right. Well, any man, if it managed such a feat, I would not dare disappoint. She'll launch on time, sir, and she'll be ready.
Yeah.
And it was good.
It looks really good.
That's why everything else looks so bad.
I think so.
Because they literally spent the money on that
yeah.
model. I mean, I get it. It's a character in itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
You can't have like, you know.
It needs to be beautiful. I like when Scotty's taking Kirk over to the ship, and you know he gives him. Kirk wants to leave in like 20 hours, or tells Scotty that he wants to leave in 12 hours or something like that. And then once he explains that he's taking control of, or retaking control of the Enterprise, Scotty promises that he'll basically make it happen.
So, make it so.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down, but I didn't want to say it.
Isn't that Picard?
Yeah, make it so.
Love that.
It always bugged me in this one that they've completely ditched the typical or iconic crew uniform. Ugh. They got rid of the red, gold, and blue. You know, it's just everyone's just in gray and sometimes brown, like just the.
Sometimes it's like flesh color, and I thought people were naked.
Yeah, it's really weird, and everything's like a body stocking. So
everyone's wearing onesies essentially, and they're really tight.
Yeah, there was one shot they're panning across the bridge, I think, and there's this tall dude, reaching up, grabbing something or doing something, and it's just like you get a full shot of this onesie, stretching over all parts of him, and it's
that onesie is gone where no man has gone before. But yeah, and I think Kirk had like at least 7 outfits.
Yeah, he had better uniforms, like style wise, but still everything was gray and.
Well, he had his Love Boat captain uniform.
Yeah,
with the white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Later on with the cut off the short sleeve T-shirt.
And the weird belt buckle.
With no belt.
Well, I think there was because I saw it could have been his corset.
I just remember there being essentially a buckle in the middle.
Yeah, there's a buckle, but it looks like it feeds in the belt is inside the shirt maybe.
Yeah.
But at first I thought it was like a remote. On his stomach, for boop bop beeping.
Sure, yeah, for all your boop bop beeping needs.
Do you want to talk about the whoopsie-daisy on the beaming?
Oh man! Oh my god! Yes.
Now this is the only thing I can see that Spaceballs took.
Okay.
Because they had a malfunction.
Oh really?
And his head was on backwards. And then he proceeds to tell them, why did anybody tell me my ass was so big?
Okay. I think I've heard that.
Because it's hilarious. Okay. Yeah. They were more funny. This, not so much.
Oh, my. It was horrific.
Yes, it was.
There's that line of...
Like the fly.
Yeah. They get... And it's nice that they... as these two people are phasing into the... or back... coming through the transporter, and they're having problems with them or whatever, and you kind of get a glimpse of what they look like. Yeah. But they don't show them full clear picture of these mutants, And I like the line that the guy at Starbase says, what we got didn't live long, fortunately.
Yeah.
So it's just this horrible transporter malfunction.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think not showing it made it worse.
Right. Because
I visualized somebody inside out.
Well, I think of the Galaxy Quest where they zap the pig lizard. It's it's what did they say? It turned inside out and then exploded.
Yeah. It was awful.
Yeah.
And then Kirk saw that. Give the family my condolences.
Yeah, well, and he tells Rand, it's not your fault. And you could, the look on her face was asshole, I didn't think it was my fault. I didn't feel bad until you made me feel bad.
Yeah, I wrote down that Kirk is not the greatest pep talker.
No, not at all. Well, and he takes over from Decker.
Yeah.
And it's... Decker says something like...
Well, he's all excited, hey, Captain Kirk,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Look what I've done with your ship and this and that, and I know this bad boy inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, wait, what? You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He just gave him that look you SOB.
Oh, I want to talk about the Kirk addressing the troops scene, where he's got everyone lined up and,
That's probably why I wrote the pep talk line.
Okay. Yeah.
Enterprise is the only Federation starship that stands in its way. We assume that there is a vessel of some type at the heart of the cloud. Our orders are to intercept, investigate, and take whatever action is necessary and possible. We can only hope that there is a life form aboard that vessel that reasons the way we do.
But that scene is beautiful. It's out of all the, it's an HD transfer or whatever, but that scene, it holds up as far as quality goes. It's...
So where they're watching the footage of the ship, I
think so.
One of their scout ships getting attacked? Okay.
Yeah. But just Kirk addressing everybody, it stood out to me that, this is crystal clear, quality-wise. But I like that scene in that all the people that, most of the people that made up the crew were family of, people
really?
from Star Trek. Two of the guy that plays Scotty, James Doohan, like two of his sons were there. They had basically a lady that was like head of the what's it called, like fan club, like, you know, she was in there. I mean, they on the special features, they had like a little 10-minute little thing with 5 of those people that were there that day of filming. Like, they got together, reunited, you know, and just talked about the experience of doing all that. So it was really cool, like, nice. After the fact, learning that you know, they brought in people that, you know, wrote letters to help save Star Trek and bring it back for a third season, and, you know.
Yeah, because I know that the Trek conventions weren't what they are in the past 20 years or so.
Right.
Or maybe longer than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
The fact that you brought up Scotty.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how little the rest of the crew's really in the movie.
Yeah. It's you know, and it's true to the series. I mean, the series was basically the Kirk, Bones, and Spock, you know, show, and then it sometimes featured Uhura and Sulu and Chekhov, and then, you know, Scotty was always like, he was never on the bridge. You know, he was always coming up from engineering. Yeah. And it was weird in the original series, they really emphasized that he's a drunk. Like, he's always referencing getting drunk or.
Well, he's Scottish. I mean, that's what they do, right? I mean, Scotch. Come on.
Yeah.
It's literally in their blood. Science.
Right.
If you wear a kilt, you must be drunk.
That's true.
Irish, Scottish.
Yeah, makes sense.
Highlanders.
Right. Highlanders. Let's see.
I liked, it was around the time he gave his pep talk. Forgetting her name, the bald lady.
Oh, Ilea?
Yeah, Ilea. Yeah. She, I like that right away she mentions to Kirk that she took a vow of celibacy.
I know, that was a strange, you know, he just welcomes her on board, and she, just flat out tells him, I'm not going to have sex with you.
It's like, welcome. He's like, I am celibate.
Oh, that was weird.
I liked it, though. It made me laugh.
Yeah.
Because I can't help but see the dude from Futurama.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Zap Brannigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kirk just doesn't disappoint. He is like the smarmiest. Like, he's got to be the most unlikable captain in the history of film. Like, I cannot stand him in this movie.
Really?
Like, the only redeeming quality is that he has a need to know.
Yeah.
But other than that,
he's
a complete prick.
Yeah, he can be an asshole.
Sucks at talking the crew up.
Yeah.
Sucks at taking over crap from people.
Yeah.
Takes unnecessary risks.
Oh, man. When he goes outside the ship to get Spock, I'm like...
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of it in terms of, like, if this was Next Generation, like, Riker would never let Picard outside the ship. Like, that's one of the big differences, you know, at the beginning of Next Gen, they make it clear, and Riker makes it clear, like, you know, this isn't the old days where the captain goes down on away mission. It's like, that's my job. You're, you know.
Yeah.
So that's always interesting, but.
I mean, his curiosity is probably his best quality.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's even at a fault. Mm-hmm. So, worst captain. You heard me, Shatner. Well, you probably didn't, because, well, A, you're old, and B, you're probably not listening.
Yeah.
And you don't know what a podcast is. Probably think it's something from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we talked about... I guess we could mention, like, what is going on, you know, in the movie. There's this weird cloud that's floating through space and headed towards Earth that is... They know that it destroyed 3 Klingon battle cruisers. They know it destroyed, like, a space station, like a Federation space station.
Yeah.
And then
they're assuming it's a vessel, but they just don't know because it's cloaked in a cloud of doom.
See, I don't even know that they knew it was a vessel inside the cloud until later on in the movie. Oh, I didn't get the sense that they knew.
I thought they assumed that when it shot photon torpedoes or whatever.
I thought it was like just energy, but not like an actual missile.
Okay,
maybe I might have misinterpreted it, but it's really hard to get a sense of the scale, how big this cloud is. They say it's like so many AUs, but I don't know what an AU is.
Yeah. You get some sense later on.
Yeah.
But going into it, it's just this nebulous.
You don't know, you don't know what this thing is, and
it's pretty big, but you don't know how big exactly.
Yeah.
I think I pictured the what is it? I think it's Jupiter that has the red storm.
Yeah.
I sort of pictured that, like this immense storm cloud, essentially, that is, don't bother scaling it because it's just so big, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's big, don't worry about it.
Right, okay. Is it bigger than a bread box?
Yeah.
How many bread boxes would fit inside the storm? That's what I want to know. So I think, were we at kind of the end of Act 1 when Spock arrives? Or do you have another Act 1 point?
No, I think that's about it. Spock enters in a little tiny shuttle.
Yeah.
And
everyone, like Kirk especially, gets all fuzzy when he comes in. And it's like, even like just the filming, they put this soft glow around Kirk as he's looking at Spock, and it's like, Spock.
Oh, that was good. Nice.
Mr. Spock. Spock.
I've been monitoring your communications with Starfleet Command, Captain. I'm aware of your engine design difficulties. I offer my services as science officer.
So it's really weird. And I like the way they play, Spock comes in and he's colder than like
oh yeah.
By the end of the original series, like he would joke with, not outright like tell a joke, but he had a sense of humor to some degree. He was more personable with, especially with Kirk and to some degree Bones
with their emotions.
Right.
Now he's been trying to purge that. So I kind of took that as his training to purge. So he's like,
and it throws everybody off. Yeah. Like Kirk especially. Like, I don't understand, why aren't you my friend
cuddling
Spock,
me like we used to?
Yeah.
They're like an old married couple.
Yeah. He even tells him later, I need you. Actually, he tells both Bones and Spock like that he needs them.
The funny thing is, like, when watching Kirk and Spock reunite, and I don't know why it clicked into my head, but I always think of Spock as Silent Bob and Kirk as Jay.
Okay.
Like, Kirk's the loud one, Spock's the quiet, has good reserved things to say.
Yeah.
So they're like back together, Silent Bob
nice.
and Jay.
Nice. That's awesome.
Just because, I don't know. I wonder if that had anything to do with why Silent Bob is silent. Because whenever he does talk, it's poignant.
Yeah.
Great that Spock talks a lot more. And gets back to his usual self later in the movie. But it just popped in my head. I was probably listening to a podcast recently or something.
Right on.
But it was weird because they were making it an emotional reunion with no emotion from Spock.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
Yeah.
This is
and
weird.
then everyone was surprised that he's not the same old Spock.
Oh yeah, everyone was like, hey, it's Spock, what's up, my man?
Yeah.
He's like,
hey buddy.
Hello, organic life forms.
Right. Or he just ignores them completely. He just walks out of the room. I like that.
There was a lot of eyebrow raising from Spock. He was like, hello.
Yeah.
But then it sort of kicks into wormhole space flight.
Yeah, but that wormhole they go through was tedious.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of tedious in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that scene with showing the shuttle took like at least 10 minutes.
See, that one doesn't bother me, but the later on, a lot of that stuff got to me.
Because, I mean, maybe this is just a Star Trek thing, but they spend a large portion of the second act just staring at a screen.
Yes. The second act is really rough for me. Just the pacing and all the reaction shots, slow zooming.
Yeah.
Because this is basically when they interact with... Spock arrives just after they had like a warp drive kind of failure.
Crap out, yeah.
And so he immediately texts the tech, fixes the warp drive, gets them to the cloud so they can intercept it before it reaches Earth, and then just proceeds to like, just the reactions to this cloud and inside the cloud. Once they start to see the ship aspect of it, I kind of like it because it kind of reminded me of Alien, just the weird, design of the ship, and you see like, I don't know, just these weird, almost biomechanical lines in the ship itself.
It made me think of like a giant space flower or something. But then Spock hits the nail right on the head by calling them an orifice.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, that's a giant space sphinx.
I wrote down in space, what did I write down? When Spock goes through the sphincter.
I call it Spock's orifice journey.
Yeah, nice. Let's see.
I did like, when you were talking about the malfunction with the warp drive, I liked him and Decker arguing in his office.
Yeah.
And Kirk sort of backpedaling and being more humble.
Oh.
Because he realizes he was wrong.
About using photon torpedoes versus phasers or something. Yeah.
Because something had changed that Decker knew that he didn't.
Yeah.
So he can show that he's not the best.
Yeah. But least. No one else gets to see that.
Oh, hell no. That and you can tell that Kirk feels like he has to prove himself.
Yeah.
Because he's a little insecure that Decker's as good as he is.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming Decker's a pretty good captain.
I think so.
Otherwise, I don't see why Kirk would be so insecure.
Right.
And he was the captain of the Enterprise. So.
Yeah. But I feel like Kirk's point was, I've been away on the 5-year mission. You haven't gone out there yet and explored. So I think that was his basis for feeling like he knew everything. And
Decker was definitely the more pragmatic of the two.
Yeah.
Where Kirk is more of a, let's find out what this is.
Let's just
jump right in.
Yeah, exactly.
Mystery Cloud of Doom? Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. So then we've got what happens? Oh, Ilea gets taken over.
Well, I thought she got replaced completely.
Oh, that's true. She's
copied essentially.
Yeah, they beam her off the ship, right?
I thought they digitized her or something.
Yeah,
and then because everything was like lightning and electric.
Yeah.
So I assume they like broke her down into like their electrical impulses or some crap. I don't know. It's science, sort of.
It's hard to get a sense of, is this the same physical body of Ilea that they've modified? Because they had like that tracking not tracking device, but they had that device
stone of
at her throat,
logic,
basically.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a copy because they said that they've copied her too well, perhaps, and copied her memory paths or some crap.
Right.
So I assumed the whole body and inner workings, because they scan her at one point, and they're astonished that they've recreated everything perfectly. So
I guess she is kind of like a clone. Because Spock then finds, I guess, her body later, but it's even that was weird.
An after image, kind of like it was sort of like a. Okay. I don't know if that was like the control of the probe.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to get a sense of a lot of the stuff that they show us.
Yeah,
it's a little hard to get an idea of what you're actually supposed to be seeing. Or
I do like that Spock conveniently learns how to speak to the cloud.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we haven't been answering because it's using binary code or something.
Right.
Which is weird to me that V'ger, or however the hell you say it, is communicating to the vessel, but we can't figure that out, even though it's like so low, like tech.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems weird.
Yeah.
But maybe it's so low tech that the Enterprise doesn't recognize it.
Sure.
I can't figure that part out because usually with like computer code, it's built up on old coding.
Yeah.
So you'd think.
Yeah.
I mean, binary is like the basics of the basics.
That's true.
And I'm assuming that's what was being communicated. I don't know.
I don't know.
Since V'ger comes from a planet of smart,
intelligent
mechanical
machines.
beings or something. Yeah. Which we'll get into later.
Yeah. They kind of like Decker showing Ilea around, and it's like a show and tell kind of thing. Like he takes her to where, like the rec station of the ship.
The recreational activities.
Yeah. Showing her a game she played, and she's just like even colder than Spock. Like, this serves no purpose. Or
yeah, and I mean they pick him because there's a connection.
Yeah,
and
they have history.
Yeah, they're trying to tap into possibly those memories
right.
to get the V'ger probe on their side a little bit.
Yeah.
So basically, he's trying to seduce a probe.
Yeah. Exploiting, Ilea's memories. Yeah. I found out through some of the special features that this V'ger, and alien mechanical, civilization that it interacts with could be the predecessor to the Borg, which show
That's
up.
what I was wondering.
Okay, yeah, because as she was, they were explaining, basically that it seeks out intelligence to absorb all knowledge and this,
Yeah.
I wrote down I wrote down, is this or what's the difference between V'ger and the Borg? And then later on, watching the special feature, it literally spells out we're not sure, but it could be the predecessor to the Borg. So I thought that was kind of a cool.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Laying that groundwork.
Because we'll skip, but to the end where he says, "Did we witness the birth of a new being?" I assume that was the Borg. Because it was human and machine combining in sweet big banging action.
Yeah.
Because, that's what the Borg is. It's organic material fused with a machine, right?
Yeah.
And a hive mind.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Damn, I'm good. See, I told you I watched The Next Generation.
Right.
Man, I'm impressed with my own nerditude.
Nice.
We got to see the Vulcan neck pinch.
Yeah.
As Spock made his way to that.
What do they call it?
Oh,
They call it something.
I wrote down that it was the Lazy Boy shuttle.
Yeah.
Because it looked like he was just sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
And awful special effect of his face in the mask.
Oh, yeah. That was... It's weird. Why not just put him in a helmet and film him?
Didn't understand that at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because later it looks better.
Yeah.
Like when Spock comes flying, like when it poops him out.
Yeah.
The metal sphincter.
Probably because they had him on wires when he actually interacted with Kirk. When Kirk was getting him, they probably just had to actually have him in it. I don't know.
Because at first I thought Spock wasn't really in the suit.
Right.
I thought he was projected.
Oh.
I thought he was remotely controlling it, and it just showed him because it looked like a screen over the helmet.
It
was bizarre.
It doesn't look great. I really dig Kirk's bluff once Ilea she wants the information. She wants to know. She wants to know how to contact the creator because V'ger's mission is to find its creator.
And he's going to Earth to check if the creator's there.
And so Kirk is withholding this information.
This is Act 3, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot that. Okay, that's right. After Spock comes back on board after his experience with
his mind meld with a giant cloud being.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is something he kind of does in the original series. Like, he mind melds with this monster called a Horda. And it's like killing miners in this, underground, on this planet underneath the surface. They're like mining energy. And you find out that the energy that they're mining is like this creature's offspring. So it's pissed off and it's killing all these miners. And so he goes down and he actually mind melds with something that's not like a humanoid. So it's kind of the first time that ever happened. So in this, for me, it makes sense that he's able to mind meld with something else that has an intelligence.
Gotcha. We skipped over his journey through the...
Oh, man. Go ahead.
To see acid flashback of V'ger and his home planet, and a lot of Technicolor Dreamcoat action.
Yeah.
With
see planets and...
Yeah, he sees a whole solar system.
Yeah.
And
I have successfully penetrated the next chamber of the alien's interior, and I'm witnessing some sort of dimensional image which I believe to be a representation of V'ger's home planet. Curious. I'm seeing images of planets, moons, stars, whole galaxies all stored here, recorded. It could be a representation of V'ger's entire journey. Captain, I am now quite convinced that all of this is V'ger. That we are inside a living machine.
His journey with V'ger.
I like that he explains that he's seeing images.
Yeah.
Like he's not actually going past, planets. Because it seems like, we've said, like, it's hard to get a scale of this alien vessel. So when he goes through the orifice, and then you start seeing planets, it's like, wait a minute. How is he seeing planets? But he does explain, I'm seeing images of its journey, of where it's gone and how far it's traveled or whatever. I guess we're in Act 3 now.
Yeah. So what you were saying with the bluff.
The bluff, yeah.
It was, like I was saying, it's sort of Kirk's MO.
Yes. Yeah.
Sort of...
He's brash. Takes risks.
He just jumps in.
Yeah, for sure.
And he did not know how he was going to pay off this bluff. He was like, okay, Bones, think of the way out of this.
Yeah.
Spock, are you still a vegetable?
Mm-hmm.
Get up. Oh, that was a weird scene when Spock got back and he was laying down.
Yeah. It just shot oddly, seeing someone when the camera is above someone's face as they lay down, because,
Well, that and, Spock apparently passes out, but then Kirk goes,
yeah,
damn it, Spock. And then Spock just starts talking like normal again. Yeah. Like he's not groggy or...
Like he just dozed off for a second.
It's like, oh, yes, well, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're dealing with... V'ger has put energy weapons around the Earth.
Yeah.
A la James Bond.
Oh, yeah, like satellites. Yeah.
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 Because that's what they did in that last Bond movie in space.
Yeah,
where
Moonraker,
they had,
yeah.
The positioned around the Earth kind of thing. So Kirk says, move those things and I'll tell you.
That's right, yeah. That's the bluff.
What the creator secret is or whatever.
Right.
If V'ger destroys the Enterprise, the information that V'ger requires will also be destroyed.
It is illogical to withhold required information. Kirk unit. Kirk unit. Why do you not disclose information?
Because V'ger's going to destroy all the carbon units on the third planet.
They have repressed the creator.
The information will not be disclosed.
And then, does she tell them that she has to take them to the creator?
Kirk says that's the stipulation.
That's right.
He won't say it to the probe of V'ger. He has to say it to V'ger himself.
Right.
And then V'ger conveniently creates an envelope of oxygen and gravity.
Yeah.
And trusting that he keeps that.
Right. Yeah, the crew just goes outside the ship, no safeguards, no...
And they're tan jumpsuits.
Yeah.
Costume change number 12 for
right.
Kirk.
Yeah.
4 for everyone else. Yeah, and then they... I was shocked when I saw V'ger.
Really?
At first I was like, did they just have shitty special effects? Because this looks like a DirecTV dish.
Right.
And then I realized it's a space probe from
NASA.
The 60s or 70s or something. Voyager.
Yeah. 70...
I'm assuming 70s. But...
Yeah, 77, I think it was. They first launched the real Voyager 1 and 2, I think.
And this is Voyager 6.
Yeah. Made up. I mean, there are only 2 Voyagers, but obviously they... I really dig the Voyager as V'ger concept. I like that they've tied, something from actual Earth history, from our, because a lot of times with Star Trek, I have a hard time bridging that, like this is our future. It just seems like it's a perfect future that doesn't involve like modern day, our modern day culture. Like I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense, but I like that that there's something from the real world that that they interact with. I guess.
Well,
because like in the original series, they would go back to like 1960s Earth, and it would just be usually pretty goofy for the most part. It'd be an excuse to like, let's dress up as gangsters because we're in the 1940s, USA. So usually it was used for gimmicks when they would interact with, at the time, whatever that modern day America or whatever, So,
well, I'm trying to remember, but I could have sworn they said this is a space probe from like 400 years ago.
Yeah, 300, I think. Yeah.
So, what year is it again?
It was 2271.
Okay.
So it would be 1971. Is that right?
So I think it's just hearing 2271 sounds so much more into the future.
Right, yeah. Well, and they always say 23rd century a lot of the time. It's like, and that's even, you got to think, okay, that mean,
Ugh. I just realized that we're going to seem really old to everybody.
Yeah.
We were born in the 20th century.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
Now it's the 21st century.
Yeah. I thought you were born in the 1900s.
Yeah.
I think that just makes you so much older. I'm sure that's what people thought when they were born in like the 30s or something. Their parents were in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
Anywho, I just got caught in time warp.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've look into actors or whatever, and if you watch a really old movie, it's like, oh, this person was born in 1885, and they're in a movie in the from the 50s or
I
don't know.
Like
that's always weird.
The people that were in the Superman movie, were obviously born in the Well, some of them were.
Yeah, if they were really old, that was 78. So.
No, I mean the mole men.
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because that was what?
51?
52?
I think so.
Somewhere around there. So some of those older characters were...
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not Superman, because he was probably like the teens or something.
30, yeah.
1920 or something. So we're at the Voyager reveal.
Yeah. And they kind of imply that, Kirk says, we are the creator. Mm-hmm. He tells V'ger that we are the creator, and it's hard to not take that as Kirk saying, I am God. So that's that kind of goes back to what you were saying about him being kind of a prick, He's got a bit of a God complex.
I took it as, I am your father.
Oh, okay.
Because I was in a Star Wars kind of mode. Yeah. But, well, I mean, he wasn't wrong.
No.
That humanity, as in we, are the creator. So I can't fault him completely for that. Yeah. It's not like he said, "Oh yes, I am your daddy."
Right.
Come to me. Come to Papa. Yeah, the little reveal while he's rubbing the sign off, like because it's covered in like gunk from space or something.
Yeah, it's a little.
It's weird. It's like, okay, so gunk. This mechanical planet took in this. What I would assume would be I'm assuming they built him this thing so they could get him off their planet because he was the slow kid.
Right. Yeah. They said he was a child.
Yeah. Well, that, and I'm comparing his technology on Voyager to this planet.
Right.
And they got to be thinking, okay, this is like a caveman.
Yeah.
Or an amoeba.
Like, yeah.
So, like, okay, let's just get this guy off our planet. Let's put him on the cloud of doom.
Yeah. Well, I like this that they say,
and they couldn't shine him up and let him know his real freaking name.
Right. Let's clean this guy up. And, I mean,
because I don't know what that planet's mission is.
Right.
It's just his mission, or its mission.
Yeah.
Is to gather information
and send it back to the creator.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what all of this is about, and why it doesn't know.
It misinterprets that as we have to go literally, physically go back to the creator.
And he wants to, or it wants to meld with the creator, as it was supposed to share its knowledge with the creator, but now it wants to touch.
Oh yeah,
some Decker. Isn't Decker a character later on?
Decker pops up.
I thought he was on Next Generation, or
I do believe. Yes, I think I did. No, because he couldn't have been, because Next Gen is set 100 years after the original series timeline. Okay. There might have been an A. Decker character, like your father, or your grandfather was. I don't remember.
The Borg. The Borg granddaddy.
I forget. There is another Decker connection. It might have been in the original series. There might have been a Decker character that was in an episode or two.
Who was the guy in Next Generation with the beard, the dark beard?
He was Riker?
Like, Riker. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of Riker instead of Decker. Okay, yeah. Never mind.
Okay.
So yeah, the V'ger, Alana, whatever her name is.
Ilea. Yeah.
Alana. Wants to touch the creator.
Yeah.
As in Decker.
Oh, yeah.
Who really wants this job, apparently.
He's excited about it.
Oh, I want it, Kirk.
Decker, you don't know what that'll do to you. Yes, I do, Doctor.
Decker, don't.
Jim, I want this. As much as you wanted the Enterprise, I want this.
You want the Enterprise? I want this.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says.
Yep.
As much as you want to bone the Enterprise, I want to bone this.
As much as you want to touch the Enterprise, I want to touch V'ger.
And then it gives you that like sort of beam me up effect.
Yeah.
Where it's like digitizing.
It reminded me because they do that, and they also turn on the fan, and blow his hair, and it reminded me of the intro to Quantum Leap.
Oh yeah,
and they show him standing there in like a blue light with his hair just
nice.
Yeah. Who would later go on to be a captain in Enterprise?
That's true.
In like the last Star Trek series.
But they embrace and explode.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Sort of. It was like I assume they were doing the Big Bang.
Energy was,
and it was
expanding.
The birth of a new something, like the Big Bang was. And then it infects the universe with Borg. Happy ending.
I think so. I think they definitely show that this is the Borg. Man, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's the merger of creator and V'ger.
Kind of weirds me out that they kind of in the wrap up they list Decker and Ilea as missing, because they start to say that they are deceased, and then they're like, no, change that to missing. It's like, why not? I mean, they're always really good about like the whole, mission log or captain's log. Like they're documenting what they experience. So why wouldn't they document? Well, Decker merged with this entity, and so to list them as missing seems contrary to what they would then put in their official report.
Yeah. That and Aaliyah is already dead.
Yeah,
she's not missing.
Technically,
she's technically dead.
Yeah, I mean,
her
memories and her mind pattern
gets into that what's consciousness kind of debate, but the 1.0 model is gone.
yes, yeah.
2.0, I thought they were going to be like, mark them down as evolved.
Yeah.
Question mark? Because didn't they say it was like possibly the next step in evolution?
Yeah, they said possible future. I like that they wrap it up with like the original crew is all back together. They're all on the bridge, and Kirk says, "Take us out there, that away." I love that.
That's what I wrote down. Okay.
That away. I love it.
I like that was the end.
Yeah,
that away. And that's pretty much the end of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. We gotta think of an alternate title.
I mean, they could have gone obvious and said, "Well,
The Voyage of V'ger."
I was thinking more along the lines of Star Trek.
We're back.
Boldly go, or boldly, where no one's gone before, or something like that. Well, that kind of brings up this original story was meant to be the in the 70s they were going to reboot Star Trek with not reboot but continue Star Trek with an actual Paramount was setting up its own network, which eventually happened in the 90s with UPN.
Really?
Yeah, but in the 70s, Paramount wanted to create its own network. They wanted to be the fourth network, along with ABC, NBC, CBS, and then Paramount or whatever it was called. So they developed Star Trek Phase 2, and the pilot episode was going to be this story. So
they turned a half-hour episode into a full-length feature film?
Yeah, and that's one of my points later.
That would explain the numerous shots of people staring at a screen that we can't see.
Yeah. Heroic and most villainous were a little tough for me. But do you have...
I guess, most villainous in a sense would be the Elena, or whatever the hell her name is.
Taking over her.
Yeah. But
yeah,
it's not really villainous because it's a robot.
Right. I had V'ger wiping out the Klingons at the beginning.
Oh, I like that.
Because it's a it's a blatant act of aggression.
I assume
that
Klingons
and
started
the
it.
Space station. Yeah. Villainous was a hard one since there's no real.
He didn't have any malice behind.
Right, yeah. It was just...
I keep saying he, but it.
It, V'ger, yeah. The aliens.
V'ger just sounds like a guy name.
Yeah. Do you have anything for Heroic?
I guess you could say Decker taking the V'ger being into whatever the hell it turned into.
That's true. Yeah.
But he also really wanted it for whatever reason. I wasn't clear about.
I had Spock mind melding with the Cloud, sacrificing kind of, or taking that risk.
Well, he was the one that was more interested in this being.
Yeah.
He talked about it being an organized mind like he'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And he was really interested in it because it was very Vulcan, I guess.
Right.
But this whole time I thought I could have sworn there was a movie or an episode about God. And I thought this was that.
Okay. There's, Final Frontier, the fifth movie, is a
so that's what I was
heavily
thinking this
features,
was.
Yeah, God.
Because it was just a nebulous cloud at first, and Spock mentioned the organized mind thing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool with the whole veiling of the vessel. in that cloud. I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, heroic. Yeah,
it's kind of hard. I mean,
Decker, I guess.
Yeah. But what held up for you?
I guess this is hard. I guess the photon torpedo, like the
lights.
Yeah. It's iconic, so it's still used today, so it held up that way. But once it hit and the electricity started flying like lightning, I was like, eh.
I like I talked about it earlier, the miniatures they use. I mean, the Enterprise itself is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I like the effect they use for warp speed. Like they didn't use that effect of the lights, stretching in the series.
Yeah.
It just, but I liked it here. And then we already talked about the blending of miniatures with scenery doesn't hold up really. But other than that,
I like the engine room.
Yeah, engine room looked cool. It looked the engine room in the original series looked like a warehouse bay. It was like a big empty room. There was no like center, column of energy kind of thing. It was just basically a wall with some little electric panels on it. Nice. Just real rudimentary. But it was always like a good open space that they could have fights in. Yeah. So it worked for like a lot of the episodes.
Yeah, I don't remember the captain's chair being like encased with buttons on the legs.
It always had a few buttons on the armrests.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
But yeah, it never had that like roll over,
like pinch your junk kind of.
Yeah,
it was weird. It was like it just encapsulated his legs.
Yeah. Although now that I say that, I feel like there was some type of. It gets switched into almost like a
combat mode.
Combat mode, yeah, something like that, maybe.
'Cause I always just remember him lounging in his captain's chair.
Yeah,
like I have this picture of him just
his leg over the armrest, like
warp 5.
Yeah,
Sulu. That away. Spock, fix the mess I've gotten us in.
Yeah,
I always think of Spock as like the nerd.
Yeah,
and Kirk is like the jock that's making Spock do all the work.
Right. The one at the beginning when we see Vulcan, the planet Vulcan, the mats they use, and there's like a big statue that looks real fake.
Oh yeah,
and it's like really, it's almost slightly better than the original series. Like when they go down to a planet, set design or whatever, but it just doesn't work in this. Mm-hmm. It looks too fake, kind of like that docking bay.
Yeah.
Looked just real.
It made me think of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah.
With the horrible map.
Right.
It sort of leads into the whole time the movie felt stretched.
Yeah.
And it leads to the point that you made where it was a series show.
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
So it makes a little more sense now because I didn't get that epic movie story feel.
Yeah.
It was a lot of downtime, a lot of screen staring, a lot of nostalgia with the ship and Spock's return. And it was. I felt like it was like a introduction movie.
Yeah,
like reintroducing it to a new generation.
Yeah,
since
it's kind of what they did.
Star Wars reinvigorated this kind of sci-fi adventure space thing.
Yeah.
So I don't blame it as much for that.
Right.
If I put myself in that time period. But looking at it now, I'm like, oh. But I guess I can understand why they did it that way.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, it was not a... I don't think I'd ever watch it again.
Sure.
Because it was just... Bleh.
Once you've seen it once, it's kind of enough,
Yeah, because it didn't... Like, from this point on, I don't feel like this story is going to tie into any other movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't seem like this was going to spawn a sequel.
Yeah, which is why they went in a completely different direction with the sequel, because it did kind of like... It's like the most... Well, until the newer Star Trek movies, it was still the highest grossing Star Trek movie. But that's just because there was no Star Trek since 1969. So, but yeah, I think once the critics got to it and just fan reaction, it was like, it's okay. Which is, like I said, that they go a completely different direction with Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, because most space movies so far, space adventure movies, have seemed like they leave a cliffhanger of sorts.
Yeah.
But this one is just, next time on Star Trek, we go that way.
That way. Yeah. Do you want to jump into the pros and cons?
Yeah, we've covered most of them,
I think.
Most of
them, yeah. I've talked about mine being well, I didn't mention that how much I like seeing the original crew back together, and I like how the actors pick up the characters, perfectly. They feel like Kirk, Spock, McCoy, to a lesser extent, because we don't get Sulu and Uhura that much, and Chekhov. Like, they don't give them anything to do, and that's one of my cons.
I don't think I ever realized how little the rest of the crew did.
Yeah. In later movies, they give the other characters little side, stories and stuff to do, but this one, it's pretty much and
especially for the movie. I understand the TV show. Maybe have Sulu gets an episode, or
right.
But for the movie, I thought they'd have a little more than, hey, Spock.
Right. But then they were introducing 2 brand new characters that essentially were integral to the plot, Decker and Ilea. So, and I like them. I like the performances. I like the character of Decker. He's a very reasonable character. He makes what he says makes sense. He's I think he's supposed to be someone you don't care for because he is in opposition to Kirk most of the time. But what he says makes sense.
Yeah.
He's generally right. So, yeah.
Yeah, Kirk's just like, oh, whoa, I just did a impromptu Planet of the Apes.
It's hard not to. Like, you kind of associate the two.
But Kirk's just like, facts be damned, I'm going in.
Yeah.
You and your science. You can take that and stick it that way.
Yep.
I feel like I say but a lot.
Right. But the thing is...
But the. Ooh, I just did the theme for Guts from Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay.
That was weird.
I don't remember Guts.
Really?
I remember the name, but I don't remember what
sort of like a game show with like bungee cords and the crag and it's like an obstacle course kind of thing.
Yep. Like American Gladiators for kids.
Kind of, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow, that got me way off track.
Yeah. We got any cons that you haven't mentioned?
No, it's pretty much. I honestly think we've covered every con. I mean, probably the most controversial one is that I hate Captain Kirk. But other than that,
man,
like he has no redeeming quality other than he's willing to do anything to find something out.
Yeah.
And even that he takes too far.
Yeah.
Like, he just can't do anything without being an a-hole. I mean, it's obvious that even to this Aaliyah lady that he's a horn dog.
Yeah. He's got a reputation.
He takes over stuff. He says, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm Captain Kirk. God damn it.
Yeah. Fire torpedoes, you idiot.
Hey, let's go into that cloud that just zapped us. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's something in there and it'll all work out because this is Star Trek. And I'm
curious.
Kirk. Spock, fix what I screwed up.
That's right.
But yeah, I felt like Picard was way better.
Yeah, after watching basically all of, seeing the two as different captains, Picard's a way better captain.
Like, I don't think...
But different captain, I
don't think Futurama's far off on Captain Kirk and Zap Brannigan. They're pretty dead on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's nothing he's done that I could not see Kirk doing. Even his little alien buddy, Skip, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That's Spock.
Yeah.
I mean, a wussed down version, like he's been beaten down by Kirk.
Yeah.
Spock. Like, that's what's going to happen to you, Spock. Watch yourself.
That's right.
You're going to have to put Kirk in his girdle. I just love Futurama more after watching
Right,
this.
yeah. Makes you want to watch Futurama. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, as far as cons go, I mentioned all of them. It originally being a pilot episode would have been a good episode, because they wouldn't have had 2 hours to fill.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing. It was 2 hours and change.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the
Yeah.
why is this so long?
Right. The set design I didn't care for. Costumes, everything was just gray. That was just everything was just, maybe they thought, well, in the future, wonder if they saw like Superman and they saw Krypton and everything was like stark white and very sterile. Maybe that they thought.
Oh, even Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was black and white for everything almost.
I assume that's because the original series was colorful. Like the hallways were had like a red floor with blue walls and,
I mean, they weren't that far off, though, because, sleek, modern is always minimal.
Yeah.
It's usually not 1960s decor with flower power.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing that threw me off was the bridge.
Okay.
Like, it didn't look like the TV show at all.
Yeah. The bridge I didn't mind as much, but
it just had no personality.
Yeah.
Like, it was just there. Yeah. And it wasn't the fact that the other characters didn't have much. It's just they weren't even on camera.
Well, except for if you needed a reaction, Sulu was always good for a facial reaction, an expression, wealth power. Just they always cut to Sulu for just a reaction shot, and that was like that's all they gave him to do. Chekhov, they had a little shot of him with
zapped, didn't he?
Yeah, he got his hand got injured, and then Uhura had a little bit of like dialogue and
hey, Spock.
Explaining that Spock had arrived. Yeah, but for the most part, Scotty got some stuff. He got a good scene with Kirk.
Like Bones just randomly walks in whenever.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, I'm the doctor. What's going on?
Yeah,
damn it, Bones, get off the bridge.
So yeah, that's I had some like extra little facts that there was a short list of directors that they wanted for the movie, and on that list was George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, just some guys that needed the work.
But they gave it to Roddenberry's kid.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he had a kid.
Oh yeah. Rod Roddenberry.
Are you effing me?
Eugene Jr., but he goes by Rod. Yeah.
It's like Smitherson.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Okay.
Yeah. It's a nickname.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Over Rowdy Rod.
Roddy
Roddenberry. He got into wrestling.
Yeah.
Nice.
He had a weird, he had to break away from his father's shadow.
R.I.P. Rowdy Roddy.
Mm-hmm.
We need to watch them.
I just watched it for the first time, a couple weeks ago.
It's not as bad as I was expecting. It's bad. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's bad. It didn't live up to what I expected it.
Kind of. It's got an interesting message, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't as goofy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
The special effects were epic in it. But yep. Well, that wraps up Star Trek.
Yeah, you want to do some overall thoughts and rating?
I guess I'll give it probably a 2.5.
Okay.
It was below average for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, it wasn't really a film as much as it was a mini-series episode.
Yeah.
I think it was just stretched out too long, and I could have fast-forwarded at least through 30 minutes of this.
Right. I almost did on my watching it like 2 nights ago, I almost cut through a lot of those slow-moving scenes, but I thought, no, I'm gonna watch the whole whole thing.
I'm gonna miss his toupee tussle.
Yeah, I'm not far off from you because, like I said earlier, it's got an interesting story at the center, but they needed to fill the time. They took a pilot episode, stretched it to 2 hours, but instead of filling it with story, they filled it with, let's just make every scene or every shot last longer.
Yeah.
That's really my only problem with the movie. I like the story, just too long. It didn't need to be. I'm fine with a 2-hour movie, but add a B story, add a little side adventure with Sulu and Chekhov and Uhura. Give them something to do to fill. Maybe there's a problem on the ship that everyone needs to fix so they can get out of there. Give something for some other people to do. And
I guess you kind of had that with Spock going into the fear mind, and then Decker was trying to seduce the probe.
So it's middle of the road for me as far as I like the story enough to bump it up to a 3.
Okay.
So that would make it a 2.75 as far as.
So a little below
overall. Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming average is 3. Of course, technically 2.5 is.
Yeah.
The half, but.
Yeah. So yeah, I am in complete agreement. With what you said, you probably wouldn't watch it again.
Just watch it to be a part of the canon, I guess.
Watch it
It doesn't even sound like it's part of canon, really. It doesn't really
it
evolve
is
from there.
This stuff, aside from what we suspect about the Borg, none of this movie comes up later. Like, Wrath of Khan kicks off like a story that doesn't wrap up until the end of the 4th movie. Like, it kicks things into motion. So, it really, 2, 3, and 4 are one long story.
Yeah.
So you could easily start with Wrath of Khan. It is your first Star Trek movie. You're not going to miss too much here. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next on the docket, will this be the Mad Max one?
Yes. Okay. Mad Max will be our next movie.
Stay tuned for that one.
Yeah. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter, Real Comic Heroes. You can send us an email, realcomicheroes@gmail.com. Can't think of anything else we need to plug or.
No, that's it.
All right.
Live long and prosper, nerds.
That's right.
Star Wars rules.
Yeah, I agree.
In the not-too-distant future, there will be no civilization. There will be no heroes.
They say people don't believe in heroes anymore. Well, damn them. You and me, Max. We're gonna give them back their heroes.
In the not-too-distant future, there will only be madmen and the main force patrol. Max is a main force officer trying to protect his family and stay alive. His only weapon, 600 horses of fuel-injected vengeance. Mad Max, the maximum force of the future.